Alright, so welcome to my video on my Twilight Fox Kaleos deck. I actually recorded this video once already, but my volume is completely messed up, so this is our second try. We're going to go over 2 games and just overview of our deck real quick. We're running 3 Inner Focus, 3 Juxtaposition, 3 Katara, 2 Mystery Conceal, 3 Obscuring Blow, 3 Kato Assassin, 1 Master Shadows, 2 Phoenix Fire, 3 Tespore, 3 Keep of Odor, 2 Killing Edges, 3 Sojourners, 3 Twilight Fox, 3 Spelljammers, and 2 Zendos. So the deck is really focused on using Twilight Fox to get our enemy behind us, and we can get just really infinite value with Obscuring Glow, Mask of Shadows, and our backstabbing minions. And the deck is also good even without playing Twilight Fox, since Obscuring Glow is just a really good card, especially with their minions like Sojourner and Spelljammer. But the idea of the deck is really to just be backstabbing people a lot, if possible. That can still just win with things like Zendo and Killing Edge, but yeah, that's the idea of the deck. So we're going to be going over 2 games, I think, maybe. Yeah, probably around 2 games. One of our games versus Mogwai. I don't really like going up against streamers that much, but it was a good game. And one is just a game against a casual player. So we'll see you in the first game. Alright, so before we start this match, I forgot to mention the deck list will be in the description, as well as a full analysis of the deck cards and why we included everything that we included. So make sure to check out the description of the video. We were at S-Rank 75, but some unfortunate events occurred and we lost a bunch of matches. I really just misplayed a lot and lost a couple matches. And I also accidentally tried to backstab my opponent after they had dispelled me, so that should tell you just a little bit. So here, we replaced the Spelljammer. I don't really like keeping 2 Spelljammers. I may sometimes do it, but it's just really, we could use something better in our starting hand, like a 2-drop or a 3-drop. And I think I also replaced the Phoenix Fire because the Juxtaposition is more valuable in this matchup. Even though we can kill a Katara with the Phoenix Fire, I don't think it's really a good play because it's just really reactive and it burns cards. But here I am somewhat punished for not holding on to that Phoenix Fire. I still think the double Katara opening is a little bit better than Phoenix Fire and Katara, but I actually did rewatch the game from Mogwai's position, and the Phoenix Fire would have been better here, but the double Katara opening is just generally better, so I want that. And here we position this to stop ourselves from getting backstabbed unless he has a Juxtaposition. If he has a Mystery Conceal, then he cannot backstab anything here. And even if he Juxtapositions these 2 Kataras, I can then backstab his Katara with this Katara in front. So this kind of prevents any kind of Juxtaposition or Mystery Conceal play, unless he has, I don't know, some more cards, like a Kiwi Holder, I guess, which he does have, but he does not do the play that I think he got. So here he places he backs up. This is actually important to note because we do have a Twilight Fox in hand. So if we are able to clear his board, and we can Twilight Fox and bring him back to our side of the field, which against Kaleos this is kind of dangerous because he can then just backstab you, so it's kind of a risky play. But it is good because he clearly doesn't want to be on my side of the field, so playing Twilight Fox probably isn't going to harm me all that much if I can play it at any time. But more immediately concerning is this Kiwi Holder. We need to get rid of it pretty much immediately. Never leave Kiwi Holder alive. Which, that's just what we do. We place the Spelljammer here in Juxtaposition and take the Kiwi Holder out with our general. Now, we could have instead placed the Spelljammer right here, then juxtapositioned it with the key beholder like we did, but then we could move this guitar here, we could backstab the key beholder, then we can move our general here to prevent our general from being backstabbed. However, that leaves both of our guitars open to be backstabbed, which I don't like that in case he has like a Phoenix Fire to kill the other guitar, but it probably would have been a better play because we really need to prevent damage in this matchup because he can easily just burst us. So it probably would have been worth taking the risk, plus we still would have had our Spelljammer on the field, so I don't know. This might have been a misplay, but there are several ways you could have played that. So here he does play a Lantern Fox, and because I did not do anything about the fact that he had access to both mana tiles this turn, he was able to both play a Lantern Fox, and he was able to Repulsor Beast the Spelljammer into a backstab. So this was kind of my fault for not doing something about the mana tiles. This really allowed him to make a strong play. But I don't know if there was really any way to deny this play without making a suboptimal play. But this does kind of put me in a bad position. So here, no matter what I do, if I damage this Lantern Fox, he's going to be able to take out a guitar. So, one of my guitars, so this isn't really all that great. And I don't really have much to do this turn, so this is going to be more of a reactive play. So what I end up doing here is I just go ahead and backstab the Lantern Fox to get it out of the way, and I Phoenix Fire his guitar so he doesn't get any value out of it. And then I have my general and my guitar up, so I can start just closing in on him a little bit. Whereas I don't know if I'll actually ever be able to play the Twilight Fox. Now, I actually could have played the Tusk Board to clear this off, but I don't think it was worth it, since that would empty out my hand and I didn't have any card draw last turn, so playing the Tusk Board would have been a little bit dangerous. I could have started top decking, and if you top deck with this deck, then you lose. So he makes an interesting play here. He blinks the Repulsor Beast forward and plays a Light Bender right here to get rid of the backstabbing ability of my guitar. This is kind of annoying, so but I didn't have any Misdragon Seal or Juxtaposition in hand anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So here we replace into a key beholder, which is pretty important because now we can just start kind of pressuring him with it. So we just place our Spelljammer down here to get the mana for the key beholder, place the key beholder back here, and then we just clear his board with our general and our guitars. I do actually take one step forward here, so if he either moves here or moves here, then in the following turns I might be able to just backstab him without actually needing to use my Twilight Fox. So for instance, if he stepped here, then I would just be able to move right here and backstab him. That's unlikely, but the more likely option here is that he steps here. Then next turn I'll be able to step here or here and then the following turn I can just step behind him. It's pretty far-sighted, I guess, but pays off in the long run a lot of times. So he does just go ahead and fix out my key builder, get rid of it, plays his own key builder to stop my Spelljammer from actually being able to get to his key builder even with Blink. But I do replace into a juxtaposition here. So this is where the game kind of turns on me, I guess. I have two plays here really. The first play is I can simply juxtaposition these two. I can hit the key beholder with my general, and I can obscuring blow the Spelljammer, blink it right here, and then killing edge and hit him in the back. So there's two problems with this play. One, I take more damage and I go down to 14 health, which is getting close to the red zone versus Song Guy. So that's the downside to that play. And two, if he answers my Spelljammer, then I really am in a bad spot. Even though I'll draw like, I think 3 cards off of this play, I don't really know if I'll draw anything relevant, so this is a dangerous play. So the other play, I could place my Twilight Fox here. I can blink the Twilight Fox forward. If it pulls his general, I can put the obscuring blow onto my general. I can backstab his general. Then I can juxtaposition these two. And alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had to take care of a message there. So, as I was saying, I will be able to backstab his general if I play the Twilight Fox here, if it pulled his general. But if it pulled his key beholder, I'll be able to backstab the key beholder. And I would not be doing much else this turn, but he would now have both the Spelljammer and the Twilight Fox to deal with. So he would probably focus his efforts on the Twilight Fox since it technically seems more dangerous than the Spelljammer. So then in subsequent turns I might be able to killing edge the Spelljammer to deal with whatever he plays. And I would also then have an obscuring blow on my general that he has to deal with. So I think that would have been the better play long term, especially since it leaves my Spelljammer probably alive, so I can draw more cards later on. So here I do end up making the probably wrong and greedier play. This does lower him quite a bit, but again, I don't think it was worth it. Although, fun fact here, he actually does replace into an inner focus to actually take this Spelljammer out, so hindsight is 20/20, I guess. Now, unfortunately, I have this 5/5 guitar and 4/5 Chakri avatar to deal with, and since he's blocked me off, I can't run from it either. So this is just a really bad position. I think hitting me here was actually kind of dangerous because I could have had lethal. He doesn't really know what kind of deck I'm playing yet. But I didn't, so never punished. So unfortunately, I just have to end up taking the damage from the Chakri avatar with my general. I have to play the key beholder here. I can't really play it anywhere else that's safe from his general. And then I have to use this guitar to block his guitar from actually hitting me from Blink. But he just plays the Heaven's Eclipse and plays it into a juxtaposition, and I lose here. So even though I did lose this match, I covered it because it's an example of a match where playing Twilight Fox actually could have been better than what most would consider the good play. So yeah, that's just a look into my deck, and I'll see you guys on the next match. Alright, welcome to the second and last match here. I may do some more videos of this deck because I really like this one, but this is a matchup against Blank Zero. Caster player seems pretty experienced. I think we replaced the Zendo here and the Kaido, and we replaced the Kaido because we had Tespo or Katara to open with. So this, I really like this opening because it prevents him from really playing anything impactful if he wants to get rid of our Katara. So he really doesn't end up having too much to do here. He just places this Abyssal Crawler in the back line and ends his turn, I believe. This game also ends up being kind of slow because I don't really have much to threaten him immediately. I would have liked to have a Spelljammer or a Sojourner here to place, so he would have had to probably dispel it or get rid of it somehow. This play is good as well. We just accelerate into the Minotaur and play 2 test boards here to take out this Abyssal Crawler. Now we actually could not take this out with just 1 test board because he was blocking our path to the Abyssal Crawler. This double test board allows us to take the Abyssal Crawler out and push a little bit damage to his face, which this may have been a mistake, as if he was able to clear both of these, then we would not have any cards left in our hand. Whereas if we didn't attack, we would probably get it back into our hand and we'll be able to replace it next turn. But he was not able to kill both of them anyway, so we're fine. So we do see an Abyssal Juggernaut come out here, this is really important that we killed the Abyssal Crawler last turn, because now the Abyssal Juggernaut is just a 4/4 that dies to a Katara backstab. And you see we have Twilight Fox in our hand now, so his strategy of just sitting back and hugging the wall will not work against us. So here we play the Twilight Fox up here, and we blink it right here so that regardless of what we pull, it will be out of his range. And it would also still be somewhat positionally relevant, as we could probably get it back into the fight with a blink and after our next turn. So the fact that we got his general here is very, very, very important, because if we had gotten his Abyssal Juggernaut, yes, we would have been able to kill it, but getting his general here makes it so he is pressured by this Katara backstabbing him every turn, and we can just, if we draw a Obscuring Blow or Mask of Shadows, then we can start backstabbing him every turn. So this is really important. If we had gotten the Abyssal Juggernaut, then we really wouldn't be doing much, and he would just be able to probably remove this and stay against the wall. Getting the Abyssal Juggernaut wouldn't have been terrible, but it wouldn't have been good. That's the point. So thanks to the fact that we got his general, we were just able to push 6 damage this turn, which is really a lot. Now he is able to remove our Katara. It's not ideal, but we don't have a Mist Dragon still to buff this up to a 2/4, so it's fine. He does also block the path between his general and my Twilight Fox, so he doesn't take much damage, but this positioning was actually probably a mistake. And he also plays the Void Blast, which is kind of annoying for us since we really want to be bursting him down. Now we have a lot of options here. We can play our Spelljammer, but it really doesn't pressure him much, and we still have this Abyssal Juggernaut coming for us. It would allow us to cycle through our deck to possibly find something to deal with this, but we really wouldn't be winning the game anytime soon. So what we end up doing instead here is we play the Key Builder and the Guitar. Now we could play the Key Builder over here, but then he would just be able to reach it with a Dispel. So that's really not ideal, even though he could probably just Demonic Lure it or punish it or something else, but yeah. Instead we just play the Guitar here, and we play the Key Builder way back here. And we also freeze this Abyssal Juggernaut so that it won't be coming for us anytime soon. Now, this was what I like about this positioning being a mistake. Because he positioned it there, I was able to move here. Had some technical difficulties there. But as I was saying, because he placed his ooze way back here, we were able to move here and prevent the ooze from actually hitting us, as the path to our general was blocked by his general. But now we have this Klaxon to deal with, so we have several options here to get rid of it, really. Well, two options. You already see what I'm going to do here, but we could have just equipped this Mask of Shadows and backstabbed it, and then we could have went face with our Key Beholder. But instead, we actually take out this Klaxon with our Key Beholder, and we move to backstab with Mask of Shadows. And this was actually somewhat of a misplay, as I meant to take out this Abyssal Juggernaut with our Guitar using the Mist Dragon Seal, but I accidentally killed the Klaxon first without thinking, so yeah. But we killed the Klaxon with the Key Beholder instead, because now with the Mask of Shadows we're in position to backstab him, and he will not be getting out of backstab range anytime soon, as if he moves down here, then his back is blocked by the ooze, and we're able to just really easily kill off the ooze, so it will be at 1 health. But if he moves up here, then he will be moving away from his Abyssal Juggernaut, which just makes it easier for us to escape from. So he's really put in a harder position by me using the Mask of Shadows to backstab him instead of killing the Klaxon with the Mask of Shadows, as we will be right here, and it will be much easier for him to escape backstab territory. So that's why we did that, and we also Mist Dragon this Twilight Fox in to push more damage and threaten lethal next turn. Also note that now he has to deal with our Twilight Fox, Mask of Shadows, our Guitar, and our Key Beholder, which on 7 mana and 4 cards is kind of hard to do. So here he does manage to find an answer to our Key Beholder, and he also is able to play a Kalino here to heal himself up a bit. He's going to punish our Key Beholder after using his BBS on it. But as you can see, he has no more mana left and he cannot really do anything else. So we're just able to take out his ooze with our Guitar, move into backstab position, hit him, and finish him off with the Twilight Fox lethal. In more ways than one. So that was a nice overview of our Twilight Fox deck and some gameplay of it. Again, the link to the deck is in the description, as well as an extensive overview of it. And thanks for watching.